స్టార్ట్ చేయండి మేడం. స్టార్ట్ చేయండి మేడం. ఎవరు టైం అయిపోయింది.
ఇది వస్తుందా ఇప్పుడు? ఏమైనా కనిపిస్తుందా
మేడం? మరి లింక్ ఇచ్చి నేను బయటకు వెళ్తున్నాను మేడం. మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేసుకోండి. స్టార్ట్ చేసుకోండి.
నువ్వు వీడికి వచ్చినావు ఆయన రోజు పెట్టి
ఇంకో స్టూడియో ఇవ్వాలా? ఇప్పుడు కూడా అది కూడా ఇవ్వాలా?
ఇచ్చాను కదా నేను. ఇప్పుడు
స్టార్ట్ చేయండి మేడం. స్టార్ట్ చేయండి.
ఎస్. Welcome to zoology class. In the previous class, we have discussed about the structure of the heart, not completely, but location we have discussed. The next, we are going to discuss about the structure and internal and as well as external. This is the diagram of the external structure. Heart is, I think all of you know about the heart in your lower sections. Already you have learned it. Heart is covered by double-walled pericardium. Already yesterday we have gone through it. Outer fibrous pericardium. This layer continues and attached with the diaphragm. And then I want to take the highlighter. Yes, this is the diaphragm. And then inner serous pericardium. It has two layers. One is the outer parietal pericardium and second one is the inner visceral pericardium. Outer parietal pericardium lines the outer fibrous layer and visceral layer adheres to the surface of the myocardium of the heart. It is called as epicardium. Next, both the layers of the serous membranes are made up of flattened epithelium. Yesterday we have completed, just recapitulation it is. In between the parietal and visceral layers, space is there, that is called pericardial space. It is also lined by epithelial cells. They secrete fluid. That fluid is occupy the space, pericardial space. It reduces the friction. The function of the fluid is it reduces the friction. And layers also we have completed. It has 3 layers. Heart wall has the 3 layers. The outer layer is the outer layer is epicardium. Middle layer is myocardium, and the inner layer is endocardium. Of course, this outer layer is parietal. This is the fibrous, and then pericardial cavity, and then visceral pericardium. Visceral pericardium act as epicardium. Yes, next, this is the thickest one is the myocardium, thick layer of cardiac muscles. Here you are able to watch here. It has so much of thickness. Yes, it is the contractile unit. All of you know that the heart is able to contract and to relax so that the blood will be pumped and filled. Yes, muscle fibers have the actin, myosin, troponin, and tropomyosin. And the endocardium is the inner layer. The innermost layer of the heart wall is a thin and smooth membrane. It is formed by single layer of endothelial cells. These endothelial cells extend into the blood vessels and valves also. So this is about the external structure. That means walls, how they are made up of. Yes, next, here one diagram is there. You can see thoroughly here. Layers of wall of heart here. See what we have gone through so far. They are the first one. This is the first layer, fibrous pericardium, and then second layer is serous pericardium. This serous pericardium has the two layers. One is parietal, and the other one is this is the visceral layer. In between there is a space. This is the space. Yes, this is the space. This space is filled with fluid, and this is the myocardium, and this lining is endocardium. See how much thickness it has, the wall of the heart. Next, external structure of heart. Already you know very well. 4 chambers. It has 4 chambers. 2 smaller upper chambers are atria. These are the atria. Yes, number 1 and number 2. These are the upper chambers, atria, and 2 lower chambers. They are called ventricles. This is the 1 and this is the 2. These are the ventricles. These are the atria. Yes. See here, you can see the connections, or some separation is there. Not the connection, separation. We can say that the separation is there. Yes. The atrioventricular groove. Coronary sulcus. This is the coronary sulcus actually. This is atrioventricular groove. This is the separation. Separation between atrium and ventricle. Separation between atrium and ventricle. Yes, this is the atrium and this is the ventricle. This is the separation. The separation is called coronary sulcus or atrioventricular groove. Okay, this one and this side also. This is the one. Next, these are the ventricles. Ventricles are also separated by one septum-like structure. Groove-like structure is there. Now we are observing external side. So external side we are able to watch just like a groove. Groove means that is a depression-like. Sorry, a depression-like. Yes. 2 interventricular grooves, one anterior and posterior. These are the grooves. Muscular pouch from atrium is called auricular appendages. This is the auricular appendages. It is the new for you actually. Auricular appendages generally here. Muscular pouch from atrium. You can see here in this diagram it is not available, of course, but the place is like this. This is the pouch. Pouch means you know it. How will it be? Yes, they are called auricular appendages. Appendages means accessories. You know it. Next, coronary arteries passes through ventricular grooves. Coronary arteries. What are those coronary arteries? Coronary arteries. They start from the coronary valves, coronary valves. So coronary arteries passes through ventricular grooves. See, these are the coronary arteries. Here, labeling is there. You are able to watch these lines. These are the coronary arteries. They are passing through the grooves. Already I told you that it is the groove, coronary sulcus, and it is the groove. It is the, what is that groove? This is the anterior and posterior ventricular grooves. So through it, coronary arteries are passing on. When you watch the external heart, you can see like that, these grooves and coronary arteries. Next, internal structure of heart. How does it? If you do the section, how does it? So one by one, we can refer here one by one. First, atria. The atria, already we have discussed in the previous atria means these are the atria, upper chambers. Now internal, how do they are? These are thin walled receiving chambers. Atria are the receiving chambers. In this diagram, you are able to watch only one atria. That is particularly, what is that atria? This is the right atrium. See here, from here to here. This is the right atrium. Left one is other side. If it is a 3D diagram, you are able to watch, but it is 2D. That's why this is the right atrium. Yes, these are thin walled receiving chambers. Two atria are separated by thin interatrial septum. So in between, septum is there. Here you cannot watch, but you can imagine that. Fetal heart has a pore. At embryonic stage, fetus at embryonic stage, fetal heart has a pore in between atria, where on interatrial septum. If it is right atrium, left one is other side. This is the septum. In between, there is a pore. There is a pore. This is the place of the pore. This one is the place of the pore. At fetal stage, we are talking about during the embryonic development or during the fetal stage. This is called, it is called as foramen oval. Foramen oval. That pore is called foramen oval. The foramen oval is located on septum. The septum is separates both atria, right and left atria. It separates right and left atria. That on that septum there is a pore that is called foramen oval. At fetal stage, not after birth, at fetal stage. After birth, it will be healed. See, this is there. Now you are not able to find the pore. It is healed. This, but patch is there. This patch-like structure is called fossa ovalis. This is fossa ovalis. Yes. If this is not closed properly, if it is not closed properly, shall I erase all of them? Just now I will take again highlighter. Yes. Now you are able to watch here patch-like structure. This patch is fossa ovalis. This fossa ovalis, if this patch is not healed, that pore is not healed properly, not closed properly, we call it as patent foramen oval. Patent foramen oval. After birth, we are able to watch only like this, just a patch. Okay, this is the right atrium. You are able to watch only right atrium. Left atrium is other side. Both atria are separated by atrial septum. On atrial septum, at fetal stage, there is a pore. That pore is called foramen ovale. After birth, that pore is healed, but we can see the patch-like structure here. That patch is called fossa ovalis. If it is not properly healed, not closed properly, we can call it as patent foramen ovale. This is the internal structure of the atria. Yes, now right atrium receives. So this is the right atrium. Even in the previous diagram also, we watched the right atrium. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood. Already you know it, isn't it? Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood through two vein cava. Vein cava, where is the vein cava? This is the 1. This is the 2. These are 2 vein cava. Number 1 is precaval vein or superior caval vein. This is the superior. Superior means high end. So superior caval vein. This superior caval vein collect the blood from all the parts of the body and reach to right atrium. So the blood is now poured into right atrium. And another vein is there. This is forced caval vein or inferior caval vein. This precaval vein collect the blood from the heart and neck and shoulders and limbs and forelimbs or hands, and then thoracic part. Whereas the forced caval vein collect the blood abdomen and below the parts, the legs and all over parts. It collects from those parts. Right atrium also receives the blood. This is the right atrium. So collecting the blood from the superior parts and inferior parts by precaval vein and forced caval vein. But another part is there. It receives the blood from somewhere. Where? Wall of myocardium. Wall of heart. Wall of heart, it is myocardium. I think it is the you are able to find out, or you are able to recall how does it myocardium. Myocardium has the very much thickness. It would be here. Yes, from there blood pass on through the coronary sinus into the right atrium. Through the coronary sinus. Yes, the blood from the myocardium through the coronary sinus reaches the right atrium. Yes, other picture we will see. Where is it? This is about the right atrium. So now you are able to watch here precaval vein and forced caval vein. Here you are not able to see the coronary sinus. In other picture you can see. Yes. See here, this is the coronary sinus. This is the coronary sinus. Coronary sinus open into the right atrium. This coronary sinus receives the other veins, small cardiac veins and great cardiac veins, inferior and middle. This is the middle cardiac vein. All of them, all the cardiac veins open into the coronary sinus. This coronary sinus open into the right atrium. Okay, so now in right atrium it receives blood from through the 3 waves. One is precaval vein, another one is forced caval vein, the third one is coronary sinus. Coronary sinus collect the blood from wall of heart, that is from the myocardium. Okay, here also you can see here, this is the coronary sinus opening. Are you able to watch here? Yes, it is the opening of coronary sinus. This is the coronary sinus, it open. Here you can see internal, It is the coronary sinus. It has the valve also, of course. Yes, it is the opening of the vena cava, forced vena cava, and it is the opening of the pre-vena cava. Okay. Next, coronary sinus is in the previous. Yes, here you can see the coronary sinus. Here, the coronary sinus is guarded by one valve. It is the valve. Okay. Coronary sinus is guarded by the valve of Thebetius. The name is Thebetius. And opening of forced cavernous vein is guarded by eustachian valve. Both of them work at fetal stage, but later on they are non-functional. Are you able to follow? Yes, coronary sinus is guarded by the valve of Thebetius, and opening of forced cavernous vein is guarded by eustachian valve. But both of them not functional. But at fetal stage they are functional. After birth they are not the functional valves. Next, the opening of the precaval vein into right atrium has no valve. Opening precaval vein collects the blood from head and neck and thoracic parts. No, it won't go back because it is upside. If it is downside, we need valves because blood may flow back. But whereas here it cannot go back to upwards. That's why no need of the valve in precaval vein. So openings in right atrium. Altogether, how many openings are opened in the right atrium? First one is precaval vein. Precaval vein, that means superior one, no valve. And forced caval vein, eustachian valve is there. And coronary sinus. Coronary sinus is collected the blood from myocardium. That is the wall of heart. The valve name is Thebetius valve. And atrioventricular aperture. In between atrium, upper chamber, and lower chamber, ventricle. So in between upper chamber and lower chamber or atria and ventricle, there is an aperture. That aperture has the valve, that is tricuspid valve. Next, we can see the mark of foramen vowel. Already we observed it in our diagram. Mark of foramen vowel or fossa vovalis patch, we can see fossa vovalis. And what else we can find in right atrium? Are there any more? Yes, one more is there. That is, it has SCA node and AV node. About SCA node and AV node, we will discuss. But SCA node and AV node also we can find in the right atrium. See, here we can find the valves. This is the right atrium. Yes, where is the Thebetian valve? Thebetian valve means it is a Thebetian valve guarded the opening of coronary sinus. This one here. This is the Thebetian valve. And then eustachian valve. Next, this is the eustachian valve. Eustachian valve guarded the opening of the, what is this one? What is this one? This is the forced caval vein. Yes, this forced caval vein. This has a eustachian valve. Next, tricuspid valve. Tricuspid valve in between atrium and ventricle. Tricuspid. That means three valves, three flap-like structures. So tricuspid valve. Here left ventricle, left atrium. You can see here bicuspid valve. About the left atrium and left ventricle, we will see. Even after semilunar valves also, we will discuss later about them. Now, left atrium. Right atrium, we have completed the right atrium. Now, left atrium. So, left atrium means this is the it is the left atrium. Here, it is the left atrium. Thin walled receiving chamber. This is also a receiving chamber, but it receives oxygenated blood, whereas the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood through vancava, and here it receives oxygenated blood. So opening into left atrium. What are the openings are present in the left atrium? Bicuspid valve. Here it is the bicuspid valve or mitral valve. Atrioventricular aperture. Here also there is an aperture. Say this is a tricuspid valve. Here also one aperture. This is guarded by mitral valve. Here we can see the mitral valve. See, this is the mitral valve. Left in between left atrium and left ventricle. This is one opening. Next opening is openings of left and right pulmonary veins. Total pairs, two pairs, total 4 veins. See here, you are able to watch here. This is the left atrium. Here you can observe 4 openings. This is the 1, this is the 2, 3rd one, and then 4th one. From where they collect the blood? Left side, 2 openings are there, 1 pair of veins. They carry the blood from lungs to left atrium. Here 2 openings. See, here you can find from right lung. Arrows are there. These are the veins, pulmonary veins, because they start from the lungs. That's why we call them as pulmonary veins. These pulmonary veins, this is 1 pair, this is other pair. 1 pair from left side and other pair from right side. All the 4 openings you can observe in the left atrium. So these openings filled the blood. The atrium is filled by blood through these openings. Okay. I think you have observed and understand. Yes, here one more important point I have to stress here. Pulmonary veins do not have the valves. Actually, most of the valves have, most of the veins have the valves. But whereas pulmonary veins do not have the valves, because it is very near to the heart, they cannot go back. The flow is not able to go back. That's why there is no need of valves in the pulmonary veins. This is about the left atrium. This is the left atrium. We have discussed about this one, left atrium. Previously, we have discussed about right atrium. Next, we'll enter into ventricles. Ventricles are the lower chambers. Ventricles are the lower chambers. They are bigger than atrium. The lower chambers are called ventricles. They are thick-walled, whereas atrium have thin-walled. These are thick-walled lower chambers. Ventricles are separated by intraventricular septum. Here in this diagram, you are able to watch only one ventricle, that is left ventricle. There is no right ventricle. Only now you are watching left ventricle. But ventricles are separated by, if it is left ventricle, right would be here, isn't it? Right would be here. These ventricles are separated by one septum. Yes, the wall of left ventricle is thicker than right ventricle. See this wall, how much thickness it has. This is the thickness of the left ventricle. Inner surface of ventricle, this is the inner surface. Inner surface of ventricle is raised into muscular ridges. These are the muscular ridges. Ridges means what we call elevations. Yes, ridges and grooves. We say that ridges and grooves. On brain also we can say that ridges and grooves. So here muscular ridges or columns are called columnae carne or trabeculae carne. These are the these are the ridges. They are called as trabeculae carne or columnae carne. Other ridges also there. They are conical in shape. See here, this is the conical shape. This side and this side also. These conical projections or muscular ridges are called papillary muscles. See here, the labeling is here, papillary muscles. These are the papillary muscles, cone-like structure, conical. Okay. Next, another strings are there. These are chordae tendonae. These are chordae tendonae. These are hard strings, and that means they are made up of collagenous cords. These collagenous cords connect to the papillary muscle and the valve, mitral valve, because it is the left ventricle. That's why it is mitral valve. If it is right ventricle, it would be tricuspid valve. It is bicuspid valve. Okay, valve. These chordae tendonae connects the valve and papillary muscles. So it gives the support to the valves. They prevent the bulge of valves. This is about the ventricles. Okay, these are the it may be new word for you. Chordae tendonae and papillary muscles. They are nothing but they are the ridges. They are arised from the inner surface of the ventricles, muscular ridges. Okay, because of its shape, we have given names here. Trabeculae, tube-like structure is there. That's why tube-like structure we call them as trabeculae, columnae carne. These are strings, chordae tendonae. It is cone-like structure, so papillary muscles. Here you can observe all the chambers. So far we have discussed one by one. You can observe at a time all the chambers or internal structure of the heart. Yes, papillary muscles. Where is the papillary muscle? Here you can see the papillary muscle, cone-like. Yes, and then first you can find the chambers. This is the right atrium and the left atrium and the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Okay, papillary muscles. See, these are the papillary muscles. These are the chordae. They connect the valves and muscles. Papillary muscles. They are the what they are? They are the chordae tendonae. Next, trabeculae. See here, you can see here trabeculae carne. Where is it? It is the, see, the shape is trabeculae shape. That's why we call them as trabeculae carne. This is the actually wall of a heart. This is the wall of a heart. Next, yes, another important specialized structure is there. Where? In the heart. So far we have discussed about the chambers and the openings and about the valves. Now we can discuss about the specialized structures in the heart. A specialized cardiac musculature. They are the musculature is called the nodal tissue. Nodal tissue distributed in the heart. Where is the nodal tissue? This is the nodal tissue. It is a specialized cardiac musculature. In your 10th class, you may not be here nodal tissues, but here nodal tissues are introduced in intermediate. Yes, what are those nodal tissues? In the diagram, you can see here in yellow color it is there. Yes, this is the yellow color. Here, I want to take then red color. Yes, this is, now you can see. It is a sinoatrial node. SAN, S-A-N, SAN, sinoatrial node. This is the specialized cardiac musculature. Where does it located? It is located. What is this one? This is the right atrium, but right side, right upper corner of the right atrium. See here, this is the location. And the next one is atrioventricular node. This is the sinoatrial node. The another one is atrioventricular node. This one, you can see I am giving a red color outline. This is the atrioventricular node, AVN. Where does it located? It is located lower left corner of the right atrium. This is the right atrium. This is right upper corner. This is the lower left corner. This is right corner. This is the left corner. This is upper corner. This is the lower corner. This is sinoatrial node. This is atrioventricular node because it is very near to ventricle. That is why it is atrioventricular node. These are the special tissues of the heart. Here you can observe a bundle of nodal fibers. These are the nodal fibers, the yellow color. This yellow color fibers starts from the sinoatrial node and reached the AVN. AVN means atrioventricular node, and sides also, they have extended sides also, and then they extended into ventricle septum also. You can follow my right red color line. A bundle of nodal fibers continues from AVN and passes through atrioventricular septum. This is the atrioventricular, see here, and passes through this one, passes through atrioventricular septum. In between here, these are the fibers, nodal fibers. Yes, and then here these divide into two. What are those? Right and left bundles. You can observe this is the right bundle and this is the left bundle. Yes, right and left branches of AV bundle. You can, two lines are there here. One is right one, another one is left one, AV bundles. And they further they divided into smaller branches. You can observe here, these are the smaller branches. That means minute fibers. They are called Purkinje fibers. They are called Purkinje fibers. See, this is the labeling, Purkinje fibers. These are, yes, minute branches. So one thing you can observe, these fibers which are arised from the sinoatrial node and AV and AVN, from AVN to they extended into lower part of the heart through the ventricular septum, and they have divided into right and left branches, and again they have divided into as minute fibers. These minute fibers extended to wall of heart, particularly wall of ventricles. These are the wall of ventricles. All together these bundles are called bundle of His. His is the name of the scientist, so that's why we call them as bundle of His. This is about the specialized tissue which are present in the heart. The nodal tissue has the ability to generate action potential. So what is the function of the nodal tissue? because they are very specific musculature. That's why they have special function. What is that? They are able to generate action potential without any external stimuli. Generally, when do we generate action potential? If the central nervous system or any kind of nervous system send the message, so that action potential will be generated. Without any nerve impulse or without any stimuli, this nodal tissue is able to generate action potential. Action potential. So we call it as auto-excitable. Now I will take the highlighter. Yes. This is auto-excitable. Okay. And then sinoatrial node can generate the maximum number of action potentials. This is the SA node, sinoatrial node, which is located in the right corner of the right atrium, right upper corner. Yes, this is the SA node. This is able to generate action potential without any stimulus. So that's why it is auto-excitable. Remember, it is auto-excitable. Without any stimulation, it is able to generate action potential. So auto-excitable. That's why the heart itself is myogenic. It is able to contract and relax without any stimulus or nerve impulse. Yes. These are the how can they do like that? Because of the cardiomyocytes. Cardiomyocytes are nothing but the cardiac cells. Yes, these cardiac muscles are able to create the action potentials. That means SAN. This SAN, how many times is able to produce action potential for a minute? 70 to 75 times is able to generate action potential for a minute. See how much active it is. It is the responsible to maintain rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. Yes, what is rhythmic contractile activity? All of us know that it contracts and relaxes. But it contractions and relaxations going on at regular intervals in the same manner. That's why it is a rhythmic contractile activity of the heart. This is maintained by, who will maintain? Sinoatrial node, by generating the action potentials. That's why it is auto-excitable. And that's why, 1 minute. That's why it is called pacemaker. Pacemaker, it is a structure which generates the impulse of heartbeat. You know that if the naturally the sinoatrial node is not able to function properly, so externally one device that is called pacemaker is inserted into our body at the pelvic place. That is that means the shoulder bone and the neck bone, the connection of the shoulder bone and neck bone. At that place, pacemaker and device is inserted if the SAN is not functionally properly, naturally. Okay, pacemaker cells are called P cells. So it generating point of action potential is sinoatrial node. Generating point of action potential is sinoatrial node. It acts as a pacemaker. And what about the AVN, atrioventricular node? This is the relay point of potential. This generates and reaches the AVN, and AVN relay the action potentials. So this is about the special musculature that are the nodal tissues. Okay, thank you.
Madam.